Yeah, he's called the list Daddy's Home.
Mm.
So I assume he's on about taking Angron.
Yeah. He's a pussy cat, mate.
It would be funny though to take Fulgrim and 1 pump Angron. Because he can 1 pump a Titan.
Yeah. I think 6 Flawless Blades and Lucius will do him comfortably.
I think I sent my list to you before. Which without with the new points is just take the enhancement off and it fits. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine Tuesday afternoon. There's a bit of sunshine outside. It was rainy earlier though. A bit sunshiny now.
It's been raining all weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit all those magical YouTube buttons for us. Hit that like button if you enjoy our content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live and drop a new video. Now, I suspect that some of you out there, a lot of people in the hobby world out there, will have done potentially what Joe and I did yesterday. Do you know what that is, Jay?
Cried in the shower?
Well, we did both do that. That's one of the things we both did, yeah. Especially when I looked down. Yeah. More importantly, go into the depths of one's garage or spare room or attic, open up the box and dust off the half-built Ultramarines army.
So, yeah. Mine's all built. The only half-built thing is Gilliman. His head's not glued on. Mine's
half-built because it's sub-assembly for painting, and went a step further than most of my projects. It's all blue in my garage in the really useful box.
I hadn't painted it because I was going to batch paint the whole army in a oneer. But what happened is that all the units that were in my Ultramarines army all basically had all the shoulder pads ripped off and added to Imperial Fists, Blood Angels, Raven Guard. It's just full cannibalized. There's still stuff in there, but it's also allotted for White Scars army.
They got requisitioned for other forces.
Yeah.
So if you guys are unaware what the hell Joe and I are talking about over the course of the last 24, 48 hours, Games Workshop have announced a range refresh. No, it's not for it's not for grotesques. It's not for those that really desperately need it. They haven't refreshed old metal Astra Militarum characters that have gone away. No, they haven't done that.
Grey Knights.
They haven't done Grey Knights that desperately fucking need
Chaos
it.
Bikers.
Chaos Bikers haven't been done. No, they haven't done. There's probably a fair few we could go through, Joe, to be fair.
FXs, yeah.
They haven't refreshed any of those things. What they've decided to do is refresh Calgar, Victrix Honor Guards, and they've kind of not refreshed, but sort of refreshed. It's kind of like a re-release Cato Sicarius, and what is probably the biggest banner in 40k now. And they say Ultramarines are getting a range refresh.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Now, I'm gonna throw something out there very, very quickly, right before we dive into this. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
they've done an incredible job.
I was like, there's gonna be a fight in the studio. Who gets it and who gets to paint it?
There's no fight because it turns up in my house. I get to choose who gets it.
Yeah.
So that's the bonus. But they are utterly beautiful. Even the Honor Guard look good. They look like they're moving towards the kind of head taker Blade Guard area, with 3 models. The new banner guy looks amazing. Sicarius looks incredible. It's Sicarius?
Cato Sicarius.
Sicarius, thank you. Yeah. Looks amazing. And I think, I have always said that current Gravis Calgar is a bit shit. The pose is just a bit weird. He's halfway through doing the YMCA.
It's the end of The Breakfast Club, which is a film you've probably never seen. But he's a guy who walks across a football field and goes, yeah, at the end. And that's basically...
and they've gone back to the old model and they've sculpted it up. It's almost like they went, making him Primaris and Gravis was a mistake. Let's put him back in Terminator armor. And the updated one, I've heard this from so many fucking people. When they take an old model and they upscale it and they re-plastic it and they make it brand new, but the pose is basically the same, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
that was a great pose. He looks incredible now. Calgar looks amazing. The thing is,
though, I think obviously Cato Sicarius was always coming because he's quite big in the narrative. He's palling around with Gilliman, right? So, and that model is stunning.
Yeah,
and it needed it because he's the only character of the leaders that needs to be replaced. And then obviously Honor Guard, I think, were always going to come.
Yep.
Because those models are stunning, and it gives Ultramarines their own unit now, which is good. My hope is you could take 18 of them, 3 units of 6.
And some company heroes.
And some company heroes. They're just all banners all the time. Because that banner, because basically they were like, and we're gonna do the new the Victrix Guard as an homage to the old metal kit, right?
Yeah.
And if we're doing that, we might as redo Calgar to match the one that everyone loved.
It's
beautiful. There's no, if you're not, I think it's so like, I was talking to Liam before the channel, before we went live. I was like, I'm going to do 100% now my Tyrannic War Veterans. I'm going to do it in my own time because, and I do think like 40k players, I think you kind of have to own an Ultramarines army.
like a rite of passage.
Because like, whether people like it or not, Warhammer 40k is Space Marines. Right? Yeah. Again, it is Space Marines. Like it's like Star Wars, right? The entire universe exists around one family's emotional turmoil.
The thing is, I'm not anywhere near the level of Space Marine fan that you are. Right? That's a fact. We're just not. However, there is something about power armor that does frequently pull me back in, without doubt. And it doesn't matter whether it's Viking power armor or whether it's medieval power armor or whether it's Roman power armor or whether it's chaos. Like something pulls me back to power armor, and I wouldn't consider myself anywhere near as much of a Space Marine fan as you are.
I think it's like genetically encoded with being a man. Just like we as especially as an Englishman, right, where we all grew up with knights in full plate armor as being like on telly all the time and in films, and we see them in castles. I'm like, yes, I want that, but bigger
with guns.
Yeah, and a gun.
Yeah,
you know? And it's just full Giga Chad alpha male.
So the question is though, you know, I think they're beautiful.
Yeah,
they didn't need it though, did they? This is a bit of a kick in the face for quite a lot of people, and I wonder if this is going to piss as many people off as it impresses. So I think about those poor Drakari players who have waited until the end of 10th edition to find out what they're getting, and so far they've been shown 2 models.
Yeah.
Right? I think about those poor Grey Knight players who have waited till kind of the back end of the edition, and they got an upgrade sprue for the baby carrier. Like, do you not think that this is for some of those, like, you said it yourself, right? The R&D time that went into getting these ready and doing them. And and again, Games Workshop, they're stunning. I don't want to criticise I think they're amazing. I think they're beautiful, and I think they're great. And I'm glad that they're going to be released. But I think timing-wise and what they've done so far, this is a bad play. And I understand there's a possibility these weren't supposed to be shown off yet.
Yeah.
And
there was a leak, wasn't it?
Yeah, who knew? Sending less stuff to creators hasn't fixed the problem. No. So there's a leak that's happened, and this is why they've showcased them. But like, if I was a Grey Knight player, I'd be like, so what you've done is you've resculpted Victrix and Honor Guard and Calgar, and you've made new Kato Sicarius and etc. And I've got an upgraded sprue for a fucking baby carrier. Like, Games Workshop at that point, give you a fucking head a wobble. What were you thinking?
The thing is, though, right, it's a great thing. I think, timing-wise, this should have come out with Space Marine 2.
Agree. Strong agree.
Released at the same time as Space Marine 2.
We probably wouldn't bat an eyelid.
You'd be like, I get it. It's
yeah,
Space Marine 2.
100%.
You play an Ultramarine.
I actually kind of want to re-download that game at the moment.
It's so good. It's so good. It's just. I was playing it last night. It never gets boring.
You want to play some Space Marine 2 with me soon, Joe?
Yeah,
you can hold my hand.
Yeah, and like, I think there's new missions to do.
Cool.
And it's like it's just, but also like you got to think about the timing in terms of obviously the Amazon stuff's going to start to ramp up. I imagine we're probably going to start to see like real vague teaser trailers. Not soon, but soonish in the next, I don't know, 6 months. You know, where it's like a title, they give you a title, you know, like a fade in and fade out title kind of thing.
Oh, new Fallout's coming as well
this
year, but I just
so they need to go. Who are our flagship, right? Which is Ultramarines, because the wider world. If they're looking into Warhammer, they go, how do I learn about Warhammer? And they go, well, there's a game, there's books, there's a tabletop game, or you could download Ultramarine 2, right? And that you'll kind of get an idea of what a Space Marine is, what a
The thing
Tyranid
is,
and they'll go, Space Marines are blue, and then at the end of the game, spoiler alert, Calgar turns up, and everyone's like, who the hell is this guy?
Pull your mic slightly closer to you.
And then they go,
yeah, and up a bit.
And then they go, who's this guy who turns up at the end? Well, you could buy that guy, and he looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, why buy the shit-looking current one?
Yeah.
When people come to this hobby new and go, I want to get the blue guys. Who are they? And they go, look at this fucking geezer with his cool flag friends.
Well, and this is we talk about this loads, right? And I'm gonna, I'm obviously not the CEO of a multi-million-pound company yet. And there's a likelihood I probably never will be. So when I say these things, there is a strong possibility that I'm talking out my arse. But Games Workshop so frequently seems like a multi-billion-pound company that still is run by some hobbyist out of his shed. Because I think you're right. I think the timing is well off, right? Yeah. There are there's three possible timing releases for this current range refresh. I think there's two possibles and one that they intended to happen. And I think the reason why they've released it now is because of a leak. So let's talk about the three possibles. The first possible, which is what I think they were probably looking to do, is I think this will be directly correlated to the narrative releases that are happening at the end of 10th edition.
Yeah.
Right? So next year, first half of next year, as we ramp down 10th edition, going into 11th, normally do some kind of narrative campaign. I wouldn't be surprised to see Calgar and Sicarius involved. And there is talk and rumours, and if you've watched people like Valrak, you will have heard this, that they are in fact even going to refresh Gulliman, who definitely doesn't need it, but if it ties in with the narrative, I can see that's what they were trying to do.
I mean, if he matches the new Ultramarine stuff, he'll look incredible.
Well, yeah, of course. But even if he matches things like the Lion and stuff...
I was saying to Josh last night that Gilliman is the worst of the Primarch models.
I strong agree.
Yeah.
100%.
I think he look like his head's too small.
His body's weirdly proportioned.
His pose only works on that. I've tried rebasing him, and it doesn't work on any base except his own. Yeah. It's just a bit weird.
So that's when I think... That's honestly when I think they were probably going to try and release him. And what actually has happened is it's been leaked and they've had to chuck him out early. The two other possibles that they could have done is they could have waited off on the off chance there is some kind of Amazon program series film about Ultramarines. That would have been a reasonably sensible time to release him. But I actually agree with Joe. The best time to have got this guy out would have been Space Marine 2 release. The Space Marine 2 release is, for me, and I'm going to be honest here, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, Joe, right? One of the biggest fumbles of Games Workshop's time in recent years. And I'll explain, okay? The game, on release, was incredible.
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of game, and I played the whole campaign through and every single operations mission because the feeling, the environment, the atmosphere, the sound was brilliant. Absolutely, and it kind of captured what it was like to be a Space Marine with the exception of the fact that I couldn't go up a little ramp. That aside, like, the graphics were brilliant, the sound was amazing, Tyranids felt terrifying. Great job. And they didn't even get Titus out as a model until a month and a half, 2 months later. And when they did get Titus out as a model a month and a half, 2 months later, it's a shit model.
It is god-awful.
It's a terrible model. Like, look at what they've just released for Ultramarines and then look at Titus. Titus is dreadful. Titus should have been ready to go at launch of Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
He was, some Games Workshops, Cooney, who comes into chat frequently, went into his local Games Workshop, and Titus was a model that they gave him as the free model to paint, right? That should have been available as the free model in stores on the day the game goes live. But a better model, not that shit that they actually released.
That model only makes sense with a jump pack.
Yeah. And then if they'd have been smart, I think that not only do they have that model available in store to buy for free, but they then have new Calgar and his guard released in box. Oh, you like that? Well, you can buy this stuff.
Yeah.
What a fumble this is. And actually, you went on the website where Space Marine 2 was released and they didn't really do anything. And then about a week later, they went, as seen in Space Marine 2, it just gave you like a link to Ultramarines. It was fucking dreadful.
Because what kind of happened is if they launched it simultaneously on the Games Workshop website and obviously the game on Steam and Xbox and PlayStation, people go, I really like this, I want to go buy some Ultramarines, and they could have gone straight to the Games Workshop website and be like, as seen in Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
So it's
not clever, is it?
No,
if you think about
it's
it.
like all the stuff so Dawn of War 2, no, 4, what are we on, 4 now?
4's the new one.
4's coming out, right? Obviously, we know there's a Dawn of War tabletop game like there was for like the Space Hulk stuff, which is the Heroes of the Chapter sprue from Indomitus.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. Obviously, it's come out in the cheap red plastic, which I'm all for, but it's only being sold in like 2 shops in America.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what are you doing?
Sell it everywhere.
Cadoyne's nailed it as well. When we talk about the game, right? They tried squatting Deathwatch, which was the opening of the game. I mean, it's dumb as shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's just not clever. It's
Like
not smart.
This Kill Team box set should have come out at the same time.
Which one's this one? Oh, yeah.
The Necron Deathwatch one.
Yeah.
They're like, there's Deathwatch. It's at the start of the game. That's cool, guys.
It just seems that they're so into just produce, pump out. They don't really actually think, like, there's so many clever things they can do with dates.
There's no collaboration between
departments.
Like, so season 2 of Space Marine 2 was a couple of weeks ago, and they launched it with Imperial Fists and Imperial Fist skin and a Black Templar skin for the Bulwark. I was like, Games Workshop could have gone. They could have announced Lysander on the same day. Maybe an Imperial Fist upgrade sprue, or just like something to be like, we're a team. We're all working together. Like what? Like Dawn of War 4 is coming out. Release a Blood Ravens upgrade sprue.
Steve says, I'm overlooking Games Workshop playing favourites right now due to the buffing of Flawless Blades. I'm running some tonight. I'm going to actually run Emperor's Children tonight. I feel like it. So,
Yeah, I was like, I think like with Dawn of War 4 coming out, a Blood Ravens upgrade sprue.
Yeah.
That's just print money. Because when that game comes out, people are like, Blood Ravens are cool.
Yeah.
I want to do Blood Ravens.
Well,
Where do I buy the Blood Ravens from? And Games Workshop's like, we got rid of them from Forge World about 4 years ago.
Famously, Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming, check him out if you haven't already, has said that he got into Space Marines and Warhammer because of Dawn of War and Blood Ravens, right? So it's not like there isn't some history out there of when they actually put money and budget into a game. Yeah. And that game comes out and does well. And as much as I have a load of problems with Space Marine 2, I have never said it's a bad game. It's done very well, right? And I just feel like when you're trying to break into more mainstream markets to pull more people into what is essentially the plastic crack addiction, getting that right is really important. And Dawn of War should have taught them, and Space Marine 1 for that matter, like this can get a lot of eyes on. We saw some of our favourite streamers and YouTubers who have never really seen what Warhammer is before. In fact, I spoke to a couple of them like, right, what's this Space Marine nonsense? And I gave them a bit of a lowdown, who were then playing the game live on air to hundreds of thousands of people, right? Yeah. And I'm like, how did you not? There's things they could have done. Like they could have got, they could have, we're going off tangent here.
It's just like Games Workshop really needs to invest in a marketing team.
Well, why for Space Marine 2, Joe? Why didn't they go out to some of these big video gamers and go, let's invite them to Warhammer World for a day. Let's treat them like VIPs. Let's show them what the whole hobby's about.
But the problem is, right, is that I hate shit on Games Workshop in general. But
it's because I want to see them do better, though. That's the problem.
This is why it's like I'm not sad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
right. When they launched AOS 4, whichever one we're in now, right? Games Workshop knows that there are WWE, NXT wrestlers that like WCW that like playing Warhammer, right? There are wrestlers. There's I can't remember her name, but there's a female wrestler that goes out and her fighting attire is always different, but it's always themed on different stuff. So she's gone out in like a full Khorne outfit, She had like a Black Templar one, Salamanders, like Sister of Battle stuff. It was all incredible. And it's kind of like, so they know that. So what they did is they were like, we're going to do a launch of a game and we're going to have 2 wrestlers play each other. They're going to come out to the intro music and they're going to play the game live, right? It was a farce. They didn't teach them how to play the game before they get it. So it's all like, we're going to play a game. And then they stand there and like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. And then there's obviously someone's like, you roll a dice. Now you roll a dice. You move a model. It was like, it could have been something, You know,
The concept great, execution poor.
yeah. But there's footage and stuff of like obviously like all the wrestlers getting tours of Warhammer World and stuff, which I think is really great. But they just need to get their heads in a space where the marketing team needs to go, this is happening externally. What can we do in line with that to get money from
this is the problem, isn't it? I don't think it takes a million brain cells to get this right. And maybe we have the benefit of hindsight. But if you're going to televise two wrestlers playing your brand new game who go out to millions of followers, it probably is a pretty good idea, right? Probably a pretty good idea to make sure they know the game first.
It's like when Space Marine 2 came out, I don't think there was a streamer I'd heard of that wasn't playing Space Marine 2. And loads of them had never even heard of Warhammer, right? There's like Tim the Tap Man, never really heard of Warhammer, was like, this game is incredible. Stone Mountain, who I've been watching religiously for years and years and years and years, who's like a Call of Duty player, never heard of Warhammer's playing it. He was like, this is game of the year. When he was playing it, it looks stunning. I remember at the time, what's his bloody name? Dr. Disrespect, who's a very controversial figure, especially at the time, had near on 100,000 people watching him. Never played Space Marine 1, hadn't played Dawn of War, hadn't heard of Warhammer, never heard of Games Workshop.
Was this pre or post it all?
Pre.
So huge amount of eyes on him as well.
Yeah. And he was like, what is this? How have I never heard of it? Like, and he was playing it, and the people watching it were like, what the hell is this game? I need to play this game, right? So the amount of money that was probably being thrown around in that week alone between all of these streamers, like Stod, Westy, Jack Frags, were all playing it. Like Luton was playing it with someone. It was just like, I've never seen so many eyes on our hobby before in my life.
Yeah.
And Games Workshop wasn't making a penny from it.
Conversely, we recently watched the launch or the announcement launch of Battlefield 6 in America, right? And they, I think, it's probably fair to say, showed off how to do a new product launch, didn't they? You know, I know it's different, it's a different industry, but the concept is the same. And they had a giant place that they'd hired out. They flew loads of the biggest influencers in the market into their location. They had them all streaming it live to their respective YouTube channels. Every single one was set up with their own computer, with screens and cameras and microphones. They did a release trailer. They did Q&A sessions. Yeah. Like, they showed how to do it properly. And I just think that Games Workshop at the moment, comparatively, is showing that it's still quite far behind the curve. Yeah. And I think that this release, which I get, right, again, I know that it's kind of been forced because of leaks, but it just kind of shows, if this was in the this hasn't been in the making for 3 months. Yeah. It's would have been in the making for over a year. From concept through design through production.
Oh,
longer, yeah. Right? It would have been in process for a while. How you can't think launching Space Marine 2, which is a game about Ultramarines, where Calgar features in the narrative, and you don't drop these at the same time. It just feels like, who doesn't think of that? Who doesn't put 2 and 2 together there?
Games Workshop in itself, I feel like there's I like watching
porn.
Yes. And in that porn category is the Honest Wargamer, Rob.
Oh.
Yeah.
Quite pornographic.
Yeah, quite pornographic. Obviously, him and Games Workshop are not
friends,
simpatico. You know, they're not gelling.
They don't get on.
Yeah, they're not getting on. And I was watching you because he does an Age of Sigmar like roundup.
I mean, Rob's one of the Age of Sigmar authorities, right? Pretty much.
I think the problem is that they're like Harry Potter and Voldemort. Like one can't exist without the other especially with Age of Sigmar, right? Like, Rob has been such a driving force externally from Games Workshop with the success of really pushing Age of Sigmar as a tournament, as a resource outside of it. And like he does great reviews. He does like a weekly roundup of all the tournaments. He does all like the meta watch and all that, and he goes on people's lists and stuff. So I watch it because I want to know what people are doing with Age of Sigmar. And he was saying like Games Workshop is a company that's basically ran on spite between like people just doing stuff to spite other people within Games Workshop.
A bit ironic coming from him, though, isn't it?
It was kind of ironic coming from him because everything he does like is based on just shitting on Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Right. So like
they had a bad breakup.
It wasn't good. You know, it was one of those breakups where I was like, it would have been easier if you died.
Well, I mean, I don't know the detail of it, so I can't comment on that. But I do know that he doesn't like them very much.
Stuff has to happen for people to leave and not be happy.
Yeah, right. Of course,
you can leave a job and be happy, and both parties be happy that the other person's going on to do other things, right? But he left for reasons. But when he describes that game, when I hear other people describe Games Workshop, it's like where the people inside do stuff to stop other people from doing stuff, or they're actively trying to stop other people from doing it so that they can get that kind of success. And it's just like, why don't they just work together as a team? As a company, they'd work.
But do you think
they'd do better if they just worked with not just themselves, but with other companies that sell their product?
Do you think, honestly, and I mean this legitimately, if Games Workshop extended a hand to Rob and said, we'd like to work with you and have you on board and be an AOS previewer, do you think he'd take the hand? Because he's quite. I don't know the reasons for it, and he'll have his reasons, and I don't want to downplay whatever those reasons are. But he obviously is. He's not.
I don't think he would, but I think he should.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right. Because this is just a YouTube content creator thing at the moment. Is that Valrak, right? If someone at Games Workshop could find a way of stopping Valrak from making his content, I think they'd build a statue of that person outside Games Workshop.
But what
the thing is though, like he is so mentally over the top positive about this hobby and Warhammer.
Valrak is.
He's like the number one Warhammer
fan. For every little thorn that he has in their side because he releases something before they're ready for it and then they have to respond to it, he is the best marketing they've never paid for.
Yeah.
Like, without doubt.
He is Games Workshop's number one cheerleader in just creating hype for stuff, right? And it's just like there's the rumor of like, is he like a secret plant by Games Workshop, blah, 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 blah. But like, I just feel like there was a time, like years and years ago, where when you went to Warhammer Fest or Games Day at the time, you could go and meet the designers. And you could see designs of stuff that wasn't coming out for years.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Eldar jet bike, like the current design jet bike, was shown off at Games Day 10 years before it was released. The concept of it. Right? Like everyone knew what was coming out because every Games Day we could see the future.
And I don't think that's a good idea from them now.
I don't think it's the best idea, but I think if they were a bit more advanced, open about stuff, people like Rob, people like Valrak could put information out there and pictures early on Games Workshop's timeline, you know?
Yeah.
If Games Workshop said, here's some pictures of stuff that's coming out in the future, here's New Gilliman, here's New...
The Eternal Creator has no idea who Rob is. Rob's mom, Rob's like us, Rob's Marmite, right? Some people love him, some people hate him. It is what it is. He's a content creator who is more than happy to put his view across and he doesn't really care or worry about what other people think.
That's why it's called The Honest Wargamer. He's just honest about stuff. Sometimes to his detriment.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think he does it because I think he thinks that stuff needs to get said. And the only downside is the stuff that he puts out also really hurts other content creators. He's one
of those as well where I would never give you a judgment on him. Go watch his stuff. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
But
it's as simple as that, isn't it? Dan says, I would argue that our Dan,
Ardan.
Yeah, I'm going to call him Ardan now, right? Dan says, I would argue that Games Workshop was caught off guard by the success of Space Marine 2. I know it's mad to suggest that they didn't think it was going to be successful, but I don't think they thought it would be that successful. I honestly, Dan, I do think that is a bit mad, though. Do you not reckon? The hype leading up to the game.
So the problem is, right, is that Space Marine games financially have never... Warhammer games financially have never been successful. They're successful within our community, and we have like a certain level of nostalgia for them. But at the times when those games were released, they were all considered flops in the general like gaming world, financial world. So, the problem is, up until the release of Space Marine 2, like between I'd say Dark Crusade and the occasional Total War game, Games Workshop's put out shit games, but not Games Workshop themselves, but they've given their IP, their intellectual property, to people to make games, and they've all been god awful. They do seem to mobile
they do seem to be able to, or seem to be competent or happy to, I should say, give their license to any man in a shed making a shit mobile game.
And it's like, and they're like, because it's not, it's a low effort thing. Just throw shit out there and it'll make a bit of money. So for them, I suppose, Space Marine 2 was a bit of a gamble, because they're like, is it good? Will it be good? Will it succeed? We just won't we'll put some resources into it, but we won't go all in, because if it flops, we've wasted our money.
But the thing is, if you think about Titus being released as a model, if you think about now Calgar, like that stuff's obviously coming anyway. Because again, there would have to have been production long in advance.
Yeah,
so that stuff hasn't been designed since Space Marine 2's success. That would have been designed before Space Marine 2's success. Yeah. So at that point, their eggs are already in, Jay. They might as well get it out.
So Mike Pod says, surely with the success of Total War, they would have been... So Total War, right, is not a successful game, right?
Is it not?
Because you've got to think how popular in the gaming world is RTS games, right? Like in the world of shooters, and mobile gaming is like the number one biggest game platform ever, right? Okay. Because of kids, you know, and old people, parents kids. And stuff, right? Like our generation that sits down. So people that sit down and play computer games. This is a regurgitation of what I've been told. I'm not going to say who told me, but like this is basically like people that sit down and play computer games on a sofa or in a computer chair are in the minority of gamers now, because and that gap of people that do that gaming is between the ages now of about maybe 25 to mid to late 40s.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, so like,
because if you think like games like Fortnite,
kids are playing it, you know,
on consoles,
or you could play it on a Switch now. You could play it on a tablet. Like it's like, but like Total War is a niche within a niche within a niche, because because Total War itself as an RTS game is a niche market, right? Because it's a slow, massive top-down.
Willow's nailed this as well for Total War. The DLC-based approach for Total War is just a massive bummer. Yeah. I'm not sure why people want Total War 40k with how they handle faction releases. This is my issue with Dawn of War that's been announced with 4 factions playable. When everyone said to me, "You'll be able to play Eldar because they'll bring out DLC," I'm like, I don't want to buy a game and then have to wait to pay for DLC to play Eldar. Like, I don't. That's not what.
Yeah, but that's how games are managed now, anyway.
But is it though? Because Space Marine 2, what's recently happened? Season 2, new downloads, right? How much that cost you?
25 quid.
Oh, it did cost you something. Yeah. I thought it was free.
The first year was free.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but the thing is that,
Jesus Christ.
Thing is, though, you got to think, right? The season pass only covers cosmetics. Every update for Space Marines 2 is free.
Yeah,
so all the missions are free, all the weapons are free.
So that's better then. That's better.
Like siege mode, everything's free, but a season pass gets you cosmetics.
But to play a new faction being a paid-for download is shit.
Yeah, but it's also like, you've got to think, like, when you buy the game, you're buying the game on the release, the product that you buy, right? So like buying skins, that's additional work for someone to do, isn't it? Right? It's like, but it also like I'm happy to pay for additional skins to support that business, as it were, because then they'll keep doing more stuff.
I don't buy it anymore. Like to release a game like Dawn of War based on 40k and only have 4 playable factions, and then go, we're going to bring out more playable factions, but you have to pay for each one, and you would have already had to pay for the title, is a cunt's trick. You've got games like Fortnite, Warzone perhaps not the best example, completely free to play, and all you pay for is skins. Yeah. That's different.
Yeah, but that's a different audience, though, isn't it? Like that's targeted at kids. They're like, spend a tenner, get a skin. Spend a tenner, get a skin. Those kids is probably spending more money on Fortnite than we do on Space Marine 2 and season passes. By a mile, I reckon.
Oh, almost definitely.
Kids are spending insane money, right? Because it's the transactions of it, right? But the thing is, I think my hope is that with the success of Space Marine 2, that Space Marine 3, when that gets released, Games Workshop will get their act together, and it will just be a bigger game.
But I would argue
bigger support.
I would argue that Space Marine 2 have got it right. Right? If they're releasing new game modes for free and the skins and cosmetics you pay for, that's the way round I think it should be. That's for me. Yeah. That's good. That's correct. But I feel like at the moment what we're doing is companies are going, and this is what I think happens right now quite a lot, is companies go, here's the game as 100%, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to release 50% and charge for it, and then we're going to release further 10% increments and charge extra for it. We could release it at 100%, but we'll make more money this way. That's what they do.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think like the gaming industry as a whole
is all over the place at the moment.
It's all over the place, but it's like buy £100 game and then spend on all the cosmetics.
In fact, the gaming industry on the whole at the moment is fascinating to me, genuinely, because you're right. You've got games that will go buy the special edition, extra battle pass, extra fancy box for £100, and then cool, there's your game. And then you've got other game companies that are going free to download, go for it. You don't actually have to ever pay a penny in your life.
Also like games like
I find it fascinating. It's so wildly different from the different ends of the scale. You've got everything from free to play, never have to. You could conceivably download Fortnite or Warzone, right? You could play that game and you could conceivably never spend a single penny and play that game for 5 years, right? You could.
Yeah.
Because everything that you pay for is optional, right? Conversely, you've got other games where you have to pay £100 to buy the game and play it. Yeah. You can also play that for 5 years and never spend a penny. You could conceivably, when you do that Call of Duty job, then spend over £100 over the 5 years. And I feel like it's kind of really up in the air all over the place at the moment.
The idea of the free-to-play game is the concept was like, I don't pay to play it. So I didn't buy the game, so I'm happy to inject a bit of cash into it. Like, the model for Call of Duty, theirs is like, you buy the season pass. Yeah. If you complete season pass and you don't, you get called like COD coins, whatever they are. The COD points that you earn throughout that battle pass pays for your next battle pass.
Yeah.
But obviously they go like, do you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Well, here's a skin. Well, COD points on that.
Super Sub says Warzone's pay to win, all about the metas. That's where Warzone then does it different to Fortnite, for example. So Warzone, you can pay to unlock certain weapons and have blueprints. Whereas Fortnite is completely skin-based. Amy says Nintendo have done it recently. Just announced Pokemon DLC before the main game has even come out. That's what I'm saying. The DLC's done, mate. It's done.
Well, the DLC. Well, the thing is, though, a lot of games have DLC that it's like a deal sweetener, isn't it? So you could buy the base game, or you could buy additional DLC with it.
Which again, I think if it's just for cosmetic stuff, fine. I have no problem whatsoever with microtransactions for pure cosmetic.
But then, like, Space Marine 2's done it. We've done something really good now, where obviously there's in-game currency which you use to upgrade your classes and your weapons, right? But they've also introduced a new currency. We don't know what it's called. I just call it Gooble Gobbles. And it's basically you do them by doing certain challenges.
Yeah.
And you can use those
Gooble Gobbles,
right, to unlock new cosmetics and new weapons.
Yeah.
And the weapons are legendary weapons for weapons that already exist. And they've done it really, really well. So there's like a multi-melter. No, there's a combi melter you can unlock by getting the Google Gobbles by doing these challenges. And that is a legendary version of the bolt rifle that had a grenade launcher. So instead of having a stun grenade launcher, you can have a combi melter. There's also like a power dagger, which is a legendary version of the knife. So, and it's a chainsaw. So they've put new weapons in the game. You just have to do stuff to unlock it. And I really like that. Like, play the game, get things.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know? It used to be, the computer games used to be, play the single player, unlock stuff for multiplayer. Call of Duty's said they're doing it with the new one where you actually level up your guns in the single player.
Mirroring the argument, should I have to pay for a codex if my army's in the starter box for 40k? Yes.
Yeah.
But you should also have everything you need in the starter box to play with all the things that are in the starter box, which they did give you. Correct?
Yeah. So it's a weird one, right? Because like you're in computer games, you're buying they create one of a thing, like a skin, and that just becomes data that you upload, and then millions of people can basically, an infinite amount of people can download that little snippet of data that you created once. Whereas a codex is you require multiple artists to do the artwork that exists, right? You have to get people. I think Games Workshop, a lot of them are imaginary, like play testers to make sure the rules. You need to get rules writers. You need to get narrative. You need to get authors. I mean, I imagine
there's the same amount of people that work on game DLC. To be fair,
I know, but like,
if not more.
But it's just like there's more people making a codex, right? And then that codex has to be sent somewhere, and then have multiple copies physically made.
I think the thing is as well, like, I don't like this argument, but I think it's true. And that is, you buy a starter box for Warhammer 40k with, what's the current one? Is the current one still Tyranids and Space Marines?
Yeah.
You buy the starter box for Warhammer 40k, right? Can you, in essence, play a game out of that box without having to buy anything else?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Still to this day. Now, it won't be the latest up-to-date rules. It won't be the latest tournament companion, chapter-approved rules commentary nonsense. And you also won't have the codex, and they might have changed rules in the codex or the app. But you could.
Yeah.
You could still play it. Yeah. So you don't have to, and that's true. This is also true of DLC, right? You don't have to pay for any DLC.
No.
Do you? Like, if they bring out Dawn of War with 4 factions, and the 5th faction comes out and it's Eldar, and it's a paid-for DLC at 15 quid, I don't have to pay for it.
No. It
is a choice. But it's the predatory nature of FOMO and having to be up to date with everybody else. And I think it's the same to some degree with 40k, right? We've spoken about this before. The thing is with the tournament companion, chapter approved, all that stuff that comes out. The thing is with new Calgar, right? If you think about yourself as an Ultramarines player, do you have to use the latest rules and use chapter approved? No. Do you have to use the designer's commentary and have to look at all this additional stuff for outside of the main rulebook? No. Do you have to get latest Calgar? No. You don't have to have any of that stuff, but you will want to, because otherwise you'll feel like you're being left behind, or you won't have the latest. We can't really play on the channel without playing the most up-to-date chapter approved rules, because people will go, well, it's not relevant, is it? Because it's wrong.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. I think it's
the same with DLC.
If you already
it's the same with the latest Calgar.
If you already own Calgar, you don't have to buy new Calgar at the end of the day.
No. It depends on his base size.
You might have to rebase him, right? But as you know, because current Space Marine captains in Terminator armor have a 50mm base.
Yeah.
So you don't have to rebase him. The only thing you won't have is the Victrix Guard, the Honor Guard that go with him.
Adam says the same argument you should have to pay for DLC. I flat disagree. Like, again, Space Marine got it right. Pay for cosmetics, fine.
Yeah.
Paying for additional missions for a game. And this is where it goes down to being subjective rather than objective, right? And you're arguing from an objective perspective, and I'm arguing from a subjective perspective. Subjectively, Space Marine 2, when it released, was a good game that lacked depth and content. And for its price point, in the modern age, in 2025, I expected more depth and content. Yeah. They're fixing that depth and content to some degree now by bringing out extra game modes and extra missions.
And it's all. The thing is, though, you bought the game. You did have to buy the battle pass, right? But they've basically announced there was an entire year of free content. So you go, well, you have a base game, but every month for 12 months, I'm getting stuff, right? And they're constantly updating and balancing the game. And then in the second year, they've gone, have more free stuff because they want people to keep buying it, keep playing it, because obviously it keeps them in a job. But also it means like every penny that goes into them now, that's funds to help push Space Marine 3.
Yeah, and this is where my kids have spent a reasonable amount of their pocket money on Fortnite stuff. And I don't mind it because I get to play the game for free. And I've always said to James, who's my eldest, it's like, I don't mind you putting money into Fortnite because it's a choice. You don't have to. It's all cosmetic. It's all 100% cosmetic, right? It's not... None of it's required to play the game. None of it's required for extra missions. None of it's required for the new season. It's just cosmetic. And then what you're doing is you're putting money back into a thing that you're enjoying, which will encourage them to keep making stuff for you. And that's where I think it's the balance between the two. Again, I'm talking subjectively. I'm not saying objectively all DLC should be free. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, certain games don't release with enough content. Some games... If I think about the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, over 10 years ago, once it was working, because it had problems specifically online when it launched, that had enough depth to keep me occupied for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and I never had to pay for a single fucking thing. And I think there's a disparity in modern day games. I also think, for reference, that there's a disparity in modern day codexes between one and the other that will charge you the same and deliver wildly different experiences. If you think, to some extent, about the depth that you get from a Space Marine Codex in this current edition, and you compare that with AdMech's experience in terms of rules, or Emperor's Children's experience in terms of available data sheets, two wildly different experiences. And there's a disparity between what each person's paying for. Games with day one paid DLC are 100% just cash grabbing. Yeah, they are. 100%. It's predatory. What are you looking at, mate?
This is... Basically, Games Workshop have announced a Yarrick book. A very sexy Yarrick book.
So he's coming back then, is he?
Yeah. And a Krieg book called The Restless Dead.
Oh, I like Krieg. Nowadays, when they release a new book, do they release the audiobook at the same time? Or is it book first, audiobook comes a lot later on?
They normally come out around the same time. Although, annoyingly, the new Abraxia book didn't come. Didn't come with an audiobook, which made me sad because I don't read books anymore.
Warhammer community is down anyway.
Yeah, I just went on to it. So this website doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think I don't mind buying DLC. Like Space Marine 2 is basically now my most played game ever in terms of time.
You're gonna hate me for this.
Yeah.
We on launch played the campaign, played all the operations with Josh. I then played 2 operations afterwards, deleted the game, re-downloaded it 6 months ago, whatever, 3 months ago, played 1 operation on my own, deleted again. That's it. That's all I've done.
Space Marine 2 is better with other people. Like,
is that not true of so many games though?
Yeah.
Like. There are obviously single-player games where it's better on your own, Assassin's Creed and some extent Grand Theft Auto, whatever. But like Space Marine 2 is definitely one of those games which, for me, it's in the Battlefield category and the Call of Duty category. You can have some fun on your own, maybe, but it is definitely better with friends.
Oh, 100%. Like
Yarrick might be back. Fan base immediately crashes the site.
Yeah,
100%.
I think Space Marine 2 is probably the best, for me, is the best game that is Warhammer related ever made. Like, I lost a lot of time playing Dawn of War, and I can lose a lot of time nowadays. Like, I still haven't got the updated version of Dawn of War 1, because I want to play through, like, Dark Crusade and stuff.
Well, this is another thing that the game industry does that I hate. Remakes and charge you. That game's had its time. And I played original Dawn of War and loved it. I think it was great at the time. I don't want to do a reskinned HD'd remake of an old game.
It's not overly expensive. I think it's only like 20 quid.
Don't care. I'm not interested.
But like, if they had to put together a team to remake that game, does that team not need to get paid?
Yeah, but why are they remaking an old game?
Because they remade it to give you a little nostalgia shot in the arm.
No.
A little like, hey, do you remember Dawn of War?
They've remade
Play it now until Dawn of War 4 comes
They've
out.
remade it not for that reason at all. They've remade it because they can monetize an old audience. It's the same reason for remaking new films that have already existed. They won't
but
just
they're
money.
monetizing that old audience to get them ramped up for Dawn of War.
I don't think that's the right use of funds or workforce. I think it's nonsense.
I mean, like, you could do a good, like, apparently the Dawn of War cruise, the new Dawn of War apparently is a very good update. Space Marine 1 update apparently is garbage.
Tim's got it. They remade it to milk more money out of it. Exactly.
Because money.
Exactly. Did we need new Calgar? No. But you can fucking bet your bottom dollar that they'll sell new Calgar.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They'll sell the shit out of new Calgar.
Obviously, it's like the thing is though. At the same time, for me, I'm like, it's new Calgar is great. Obviously, Space Marines and Ultramarine players specifically needed new Kato Sicarius, and the Honor Guard is something they need. I think Ultramarine player. I think generic Space Marines now need to start getting that Ultramarine love, you know, in the sense that they need their own specific units adding into the game. And Ultramarines make sense to be the starter one. And it's like, but that new Calgar R&D time, that could have been, you know, Seth. That could have been Pedro Cantor. It could have been so many other things instead of remaking a model that we already have.
Yeah. I mean, again, I specifically look at Grey Knights, and I even look at some of the Blood Angel stuff, and I'm like, you went new Calgar, and you could have. There's a couple of Blood Angels characters that we could have had. There's like so many things where they could have spent that time and effort, and they didn't. They remade Calgar. I mean, and I honestly, as a player, as a person and a player who has Ultramarines at home that are blue in a box, who hates current Calgar. Genuinely hates current Calgar. The new one,
I never painted old Calgar, so I will be painting new Calgar.
I don't know whether I'm going to bother now with old one. He's in the box blue.
I'm not gonna paint.
Willow says #justice for Gabriel Seth. Yeah. You're preaching to Joe's heart here. 100% you're preaching to Joe's heart here. Anyway, if you guys have got opinions, feel free to stick them in the chat. We have a bunch of stuff to get through. Thank you so much. We're already on 72 of the finest members, 28 away from hitting our target for the Liam and Joe show.
But like, Blood Angels did get done dirty, you know. If you look at those new Victrix Honor Guard compared to Sandguard.
Yeah. And head takers compared to Sandguard, and Inner Circle companions compared to Sandguard. Right, Blood Angels definitely got done dirty.
Sword Bros, just all the other Space Marine units just look better than Sandguard.
Yeah, like I said, though, we are 28 members away from hitting target. I'd be very grateful if we could hit target because Joe yesterday went into Thames with his little fat sad face in his bowl because he wanted to do basically an all Varangard. Is it Varangard? Varangard? How do you say it?
I don't know. I say Varangard. I think it's Varan.
Varangard.
Varan.
The Slave to Darkness horse people, the big Slave to Darkness horse people, and he really wanted to do an all Varangard army to take to Golden Ticket because it's very easy to transport and really easy to play. And he had a little sad face in Thanes, so this morning I treated Joe.
Well, I didn't. No, basically one of the Thanes was talking about it, and I was like, "Is it this list?" And then I went and looked at how expensive it was, and I was like. Bleh.
So today I bought him 3 more boxes, and I'm going to give him my box. So he's got 4 more boxes of Varangard, whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah.
So membership target would be great.
Yeah. I called the list. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
And it's just
I also want you to have a good time. That's part of the reason. And then we're booking his hotel after as well. So thank you, Matt O'Reilly, who before the stream started.
We didn't talk about. Smash Captain
Hang on,
and
Matt. We didn't talk about Smash Captain, man. I fact checked you. I'll be honest, because you said something. I think it was yesterday. You said, or was it the day before? You said there's never been an official Smash Captain model.
Fact.
And I remember. Well, I was like, I'm sure in 8th edition, every fucking Space Marine army had 3 Smash Captains. I even converted a Blood Angels one at the time. And I went looking, and I was like, "There's actually never been an official Smash Captain model.
There's never been an official jump pack captain with a Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield. Every jump pack captain that existed in 8th edition, when they were fucking everywhere, were all converted from Vanguard vets or the Blood Angels chaplain.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I was like, no, that can't be right.
There's only 2 editions.
It wasn't the first time you'd said it, but I was like, that can't be right. And I went looking, and I was like, fuck, he's right.
And that model's really nice. It's a really nice pose. And the fact it's going on general release is really, really cool. I don't think it's worth a Warhammer Day release.
I mean, in terms of the sculpt, maybe not. In terms of the fact the first ever Smash Captain, probably.
Yeah, like I'm fine with it. Like I want multiple. Like, I saw it and I was like, yes, I want, because I was like sat there. I was like, if I get one, who am I going to do it for?
Yeah, you knew Calgar outsold 101 by generic Smash Captain.
Yeah, it's like, am I going to get him for the Raven Guard? Am I going to get him for Flesh Terrors? I'm going to put him in Imperial Fizz. Am I going to put him into Black Templars? You know, I was looking at the rules yesterday. Do you know what he's really good in? Dark Angels. Wrath of the Rock, you can give him +1 AP, +1 damage, +2 strength. So it goes to strength 10, AP 3, damage 3, Thunder Hammer with Dev. And you can charge in your opponent's turn. And I was like, maybe we can make this work. You know? And then I was looking at Assault Intercessors or Jump Packs to see if I could convert up some cool Dark Angels people to go with him. And I was like, you're going to sell more of those than you are of Calgar, right? But I think people that don't have Space Marines aren't going to buy the Jump Pack Captain. But I think people that don't have Space Marines would sit there and seriously consider buying Calgar, because if he comes in the box with him and 3 Honor Guard, you're like, because if they do that's the best version of what the terrible showing of the Lions Guard that we had.
Yeah, I've got to work out what Space Marine army I work on, Space Wolves or Ultramarines now.
I've put the Imperial Fist on a small break to get my Slaves of Darkness army ready for Golden Ticket.
If you do nothing but your Slaves of Darkness army from now until your Golden Ticket event, I'm okay with it, mate.
Yeah, but I want you to have a good time. Full Imperial Fister.
I also want you to have a good time.
Yeah, because like someone complained, rightfully so, that obviously Imperial Fist got done dirty because we put them in Knights. But I did explain at the time. I explained into the comment and also in one of the games that basically we had to pick Raven Guard or Fists to go into Knights.
But also, if you'd have just picked fixed secondaries, which we don't do on stream,
I would have won anyway.
You would have won anyway. So yeah, what were we doing dirty?
But I do want to get an actual Fists army on the table that's all mine to show it off.
Yeah.
You know? Also, points drops. There is a legitimate argument for bog standard Land Raiders in Imperial Fists.
I think Tom's bringing a bog standard Land Raider tonight,
because the bog standard Space Marine Land Raider with Oath gets +1 to wound. So his 4 las cannons, pew 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 pew, reroll all hits versus a big knight and wound a big knight on 2s now.
The memberships are definitely worth having as well, because I don't think tonight's stream's going to last very long. Have you seen the army that he's put in chat?
No.
After he said, "Are we doing tournament Tuesdays?" and I said no because I want to have fun.
Yeah.
He's gone for Angrom.
Yeah.
Khan. This is in Berserker Warband, obviously. Yeah. Khan. 2 Slaughterbound. Now they've got good. They're strength 12 on the charge now. Ugh. 10 Berserkers. A Land Raider.
Yeah.
2 units of 2 Spawn. 3 units of 3 8-bound. 2 units of 3 Exalted 8-bound, and 10 Jackals.
He can't help himself, can he?
He can't help himself. He can't help himself.
Who do you think's worse, him or Paddy?
Ooh.
For keeping it in their pants.
That's a hard one to answer.
Yeah. You know that scene in The Mask where he turns into a cartoon dog, you know, getting all horny at the table.
Yeah,
that's Paddy and Tom when it comes to be super gamey competitive people. Like, I can't help myself.
I told him I'm bringing Emperor's Children.
Yeah.
Like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah. You know.
It's fine. I'll have fun with it. I'll have fun with him.
You do the first year. I'm going to go for my week.
I'm going to sit there. I'm going to stand there and play Tom, and for the first time ever, and just enjoy myself. It'll be fine.
I do like that's what he's chosen to go against you for the first time ever to play you.
That's all right. He wants to establish his dominance. That's fine. I don't mind. I can't really do. I can do the super chats, right? Because we need Joe for the hopes. I can say thank you to Macari's Wank Sock for 1 gifted membership. You're amazing. And then Rumba Clock, thank you for the $5. We're gonna. This is the bit we go to chat, by the way, now, and we'll respond to all your super chats. So if you've got a question, something you want to say about anything we've talked about so far, feel free to stick it in there. I've seen the message from 8-Arm Slapper as well, which we'll get to. That's just life advice. You can chuck that sort of stuff in there as well if you want. Caveat: if I give you life advice, doesn't necessarily mean it's the best way to be. It's just perhaps what works for me. If Joe gives you life advice, fucking ignore it. Just ignore it. All right. Rumba Clock, thank you for the $5. They are lovely sculpts, correct, but bore off with more Ultramarines before you add the myriad of units almost every other army needs first. Yeah, we've kind of touched on that, right? Although I will go as far as to say, I personally think that the models are gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. However, I do think about a lot of other factions who are quite far behind even where just generic Space Marines are for sculpts. And I think who at Games Workshop is constantly going, next Ultramarines character, next Ultramarines character, next Ultramarines character. And I don't know, I just feel like I've said it already, I've said it a few times, I'll say it again. I feel so fucking sorry, for example, for Grey Knight players and the nonsense that they've got. They had a glimmer of hope in, I think it was the previous edition when New Crow came out, and his sculpt is stunning, and then nothing. And then they get a baby carrier update, which makes what is a shit model not look that much better. You know, they really, really, really needed some love, like a lot of love. I think about Deathwatch. And okay, we've got the new Deathwatch Kill Team coming out in Kill Team, but like they tried to get rid of those for people that have got full Deathwatch armies. I think about Blood Angels, who lost Gabriel Seth, who lost Captain Tycho, and who basically lost actual Death Company sculpts. And I feel like Soups jokingly said early, but I think he's genuine. He said early, Blood Angels got done dirty. If you look at the Space Wolves range refresh, if you look at the Dark Angels range refresh, if you look at now even the Ultramarines, who are kind of the vanilla Space Marines range refresh, and then you compare that to what is, for me, subpar Sangard. I don't hate them. I quite like them, but they're not as ornate as they perhaps should be.
As someone that painted 18 Sangard, I'm like,
yeah, not that inspiring, right? And then you've got, so that's your Sangard, and then you've got a Death Company captain who's not, he's just a captain painted black, and then you've got Death Company, which really got done dirty. Yeah. Like Space Wolves got basic infantry done as a separate kit in Blood Claws and Grey Hunters, right? And then Death Company went, nah, here's an Inferno pistol, a power fist, and a shoulder pad. Off you go. That's fucking shit. I'm sorry, that's shit. Yeah, and Death Company, for me, are more iconic for Blood Angels than Sangard are.
Yeah. They had models long before.
I also like the fact that what they did with Sangard, and this is so Games Workshop, they went, swords are your best option. So everyone glued all their swords on. And now they've gone, oh, by the way, we're going to make spears better than swords now?
Not me. I went six and 12. So I got 6 with spears that I put with Dante, and then I've got 12 to 6 with swords. I do think the spears are the best option. You know how Paddy basically, when he texts you, talks to you like chat does in a million different tiny little fucking conversations.
I do the same to him though, so it's fine. I know you hate it.
He's like just shotgunning. I was like, I've got 11 messages. I'm like, oh, they're all from Paddy. It could have been one text, but it's fine. And I said to him, he was like, because I said the best is a big unit of 6 with spears and 2 units of 3 with swords, and he was like, Dante's most. I'm like, no, you put Dante in a small unit and you put the Fight First captain in the Lance unit. It's a really scary unit then. That 6 with spears and a captain, there's not much that stands up to that now. Because 6 Sangard with spears is 30 in Liberate Assault Force, which I think is the best one for them, is 30 attacks at strength 9.
But
8 strength 9, AP 2, damage 2, lance.
yeah.
And now they're his on 2s. So if it's toughness 8, you hit on 2s and wound it on 2s.
Yeah. And you can take a detachment, you can reroll ones. Cool.
Yeah.
Prentice, thank you for the $5. Seeing as I have never had an answer in Thanes, Joe, how do you feel that Solar is only 20 points more than Dreer?
It's a rhetorical question. The reason I don't answer it, Prentice, in Thanes is because it's a rhetorical question, because you know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's annoying, isn't it? I don't know how you want me to expand on that, Prentice.
Well,
it's like
Lord Marshal Dreer is the benchmark, Jay.
He is the yardstick in which I measure all things.
Yes.
And yeah. And the thing is, though, you measure all things by Dreer, and the response is always disappointment.
Because of how much Dreer is?
Yeah. It's just like, why is he so many?
Nick, thank you for the $5. He says slim pickings with Centos, Titus, Areos, Ventris, Castus, Macinius, and Tigerius for the Ultramarines since the third Calgar and second Vitrix. To be fair, yeah, they don't get a lot, do they? They don't get a lot.
Oh, he's got Centos in there. I need to get another Centos model now because I used him in my Imperial Fists, and I need him for the Ultras.
Cray, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Cray. Are we going? Did you do Matt's big old 50?
No, well, there's more than that. Matt's done 101, but he also says he doesn't want to hope.
Oh, why not?
Maybe your hopes have just been shit. But there is a super chat here for $2. Says no need, mate, for a hope. Just relax, gents. For Matt, and his 101 gifted membership. 101 gifted memberships. Mad. Don't get me wrong, it's 505 Australian dollars, so it's like 20 quid, but still 101 gifted memberships.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
So yeah, Cray, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships.
Cray, I hope, Cray, that you learn Cockney rhyming slang perfectly.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Love it. Harborn, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Harborn. I hope that your computer works well enough to send us the swirly dirly so we can advertise you.
I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Prentice, thank you for the $10. Worth noting, Space Marine 2 had development delays. Games Workshop had a deal to sell Space Marine board game with Target. Target are not going to wait for a PC game release to sell stock, which is why Titus was in the US before the UK. That's fine, but in the UK he was out after the game. Not at the same they already had him produced because of that reason, but in the UK they didn't have him ready to go until after the game had come out. So if they had development delays because of for the game, then Titus should have definitely been ready, and so should a Calgar. $299 just for 450. Oh Jesus! Well, I got that wrong. Thank you, Lucas I0. Lucas for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you. I hope that tonight you are gifted a cheesecake.
Matt, you do it on an iPhone. Tell me not to do it on an iPhone. Gifted a cheesecake's nice as well. Sea Breezy upgraded to Yarltir. What a legend. There'll be a giveaway in Discord very, very soon. Thank you, Commodore 6342 for the $10. Total War Warhammer led me into the hobby. Watching the trailer on YouTube led me to lore videos, led me to your bat rep with Winters, which led me to buy just one box of Space Marine. I've since bought 7 other people in. But that is ultimately right. When we think about Dawn of War, when we think about Space Marine 2, when we think about Total War, when we think about Amazon TV series, Amazon films, ultimately, for the most part, I think we have to look at the majority of these as vessels in which to pull people into the hobby.
And that's why our disappointment comes in when we were talking earlier, where there is a real disconnect between the game creators and Games Workshop in terms of these kind of like bringing people across, right? So Games Workshop, in my opinion, should stock the Dawn of War 4 board game that's been announced.
Okay.
Right? And they should have it in game and places that sell physical computer games. Because when you go and play Dawn of War for the first time, you go, this is really cool. I really like this lore. I really like this game.
Yep.
These Blood Ravens are really, really cool. Big fan of them. And then you go to a Games Workshop shop, right? Or you go to your local game store. I know most of ours are in bloody Sports Direct now, aren't they?
Yep.
But you go to Games Workshop, right? You go, I've played Dawn of War. How do I get into this tabletop game, right? And then the guy in Games Workshop goes, you've played Dawn of War. Here is the Dawn of War board game, right? Which has all your first models in it. And it's cheaper than if you bought them off the shelf separately. It's a different kind of plastic, but it obviously, as a new person, you're getting into it, so you don't want to invest loads of money. So 40 quid for this board game is great. And they go, here you go. And then that person goes off and builds the units they've played within the game, and they have an understanding. And then they have a little board game that they can play with their partner or on their own or their kids. And then they go back into the store and they go, I bought that game, I bought that box set that you told me to buy. What do I do next? And they go, have you painted it? And they go, no. Here's some paints. Or they go, what color did you paint it? And they go, blue. And you go, cool. Here's Calgar. Buy Calgar and Victrix on a guard. You know, it's that gateway drug that gets people in. Because when you play a computer game for the first time and you go into Games Workshop and they go, buy this £120 box set with 2 armies in and the rules, people are gonna go like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all of a sudden I'm not jazzed about getting into this hobby.
Yeah.
Whereas if they go, here's the Space Marine 2 box set, here's the Dawn of War box set, go build
stepping stones.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. I think it's important, but you bringing 7 more people in is amazing. Thank you, you're a legend. Matt says, to our missing brother Brom. I spoke to him recently-ish. I would be surprised currently if we see him back before Christmas.
Yeah.
For those of you who are unaware, and I want to add a point first, actually, before I say what I'm about to say. Please don't message him privately. Please don't send him messages on Discord. Please don't tag him. None of that stuff. He's got enough going on. I am happy to gather up messages and send them to him and stuff like that, or talk to him. But please don't message him and tag him and overwhelm him with it. If you're unaware, about 3-ish months ago, Brom's better half gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, which seemed great. Everything was good. And we knew he'd be away for a while because newborns and not sleeping and etc. Unfortunately, the girl out of the 2 twins has now spent most of the last 3 months in hospital. There is a genetic condition. I'm not going to give details. It's not my place to. But she's been very unwell. And so they have been spending most of their time in hospital. Luce and I have looked after his eldest on occasion so that they can, go in and sort of talk to consultants and stuff like that. So he's not doing great. He's just about coping and getting by. Luce and I are fully supporting them as much as we can. But I wouldn't expect to see him anytime soon, unfortunately. Yeah. Which means with permission, we'll use his Ultramarines army. Obviously, we can showcase Ultramarines and stuff like that. But they're not having a good time right now. So if you've got things you want to say to him, if you've got messages you want to send, whatever things you want to do, go through me, please. Only because there's a lot going on for him, and I don't want him to be overwhelmed with it all. So yeah, but I'm sure at some point in the future we will see him back. Okay. Yeah. 8-arm slapper. Talking of which, 8-arm slapper, thank you for the $50. Thank you for the pink one. Says, Liam, I just found out my wife and I are pregnant like yesterday. Congratulations, you legend.
Congratulations, well done.
I'm thrilled beyond belief, but find myself wondering how much time I'll have for hobbies and friends. You really seem like a great dad that has it sorted. I'm glad I give that across. Could you weigh in? When there's kind of two things here. I found personally when the little ones were the littlest, I had a bit more time for hobby because I was sat there with this potato in a rocking chair, a rocking like thing, and doesn't do anything. It's sleeping, waiting for feed time. So I just sat there and hobbied in the quiet because I just sat there in the silence whilst it wasn't crying and made models. I think that making time for friends and hobby once the new one arrives is the best way I can put it is a balancing act that's unique to everybody.
Yeah.
Your other half will want to feel supported in raising and helping out with the little one. But I also think it is important to find yourself time for those things that make you happy, because Joe's a dad. I'm a dad. Yeah. It's fucking hard.
I got out of the hobby years and years and years ago, and then when my ex now when she got pregnant, I got back into the hobby because I was home more, doing more stuff. I went from having nothing to having 3,000 points of Necrons throughout the course of the pregnancy, and then when my child was born, you just got a vegetable that just lies there, and obviously you got to feed it and be around. But like, they sleep a lot, and I don't sleep. I don't sleep a lot myself, so it's just like, I got more done. And if you're like you're co-parenting and you're putting a lot of work in, your partner's never going to begrudge you like a couple of hours like here and there to build and paint stuff, or even like one night a week to go out and play Warhammer with your mates.
One of the best pieces of advice I was given, and I'm probably going to murder regurgitating this, but I'm going to try, because Luce and I have lived by it and I love it, right? And that is, there's two ways you can approach adding to your family and having kids for the first time. Is you can change your lifestyle to suit them, or you can make sure their lifestyle suits yours.
Yeah.
And I think the latter is quite important. With the world that we live in nowadays, with the type of tools and clothes and carry seats and fucking carry all the, like, I had a thing where I used to put James on my bag as a backpack, like little, used to sit in there, and I just carried on as normal. I literally, my life didn't really change apart from I had to change nappies and feed him.
Yeah,
right. That was basically it.
I've spoken to a lot of parents who are like, I've not got any time to do anything, and I'm like, well, what are you doing when it's asleep? And they're like, oh, it sleeps on me. I'm like, well, if it's not asleep on you, it can sleep in its own bed.
Yeah.
Right?
Or on a pushchair or whatever.
Or a pushchair or a bouncer or whatever. You know, you are your own person at the end of the day. And so it's like, if that child's asleep, you can use that time to get your own sleep, or you can get stuff done, you know? And if you're both on top of it, it's just like, the house is tidy, you can get jobs done. And it's always about, like, I tell a lot of people, they're like, how do you get so much painting time done? You go, like, you steal time.
Well, it's also his job, so.
It's my job, right? But it wasn't my job when my child was born. But it's like, I said, like, the most important thing is stealing time.
Yeah.
Right? And in the first like year, that kid's not really doing much. And so you're like, I always had like a desk set out with the paints on. So, or if you were lucky enough to have your painting in its own room, you go, well, it's like, well, I got 40 minutes, you know, I'll go and do some edge highlighting. Or I go, oh, I've got 20 minutes. Or the partner's in the bath, the kid's asleep, or they've gone to the park, you know, I'll put some washes on. I'll glue some sand on bases. Like, even if you've got 15 minutes, you're waiting to leave the house, you go, cool, just do a little bit here, a little bit there.
Like I said, make the kid, if you can, make the kid's routine fit yours rather than you fit theirs, and then you'll find that life's not actually that bad. It's harder. It is harder. You'll be tired. There'll be times when you won't want to pick up a paintbrush because you're too tired, and you won't want to build that model because you're too tired. And listen to your body as well. But
the best thing I ever invested, though, was a baby cage.
Ikelt says, sorry, didn't realize this was loose women. Once they've had babies, mate, they all are.
Yeah. And I got this great. It's a playpen, right? But I called it the baby cage because it sounds more important.
I know what you're talking about as well.
Because you put them in there and they crawl around. But what I did, we didn't have a dining room table at the time, so I found one that was a bit smaller than 6x4. Right? So then what I could do, because it was like one of those ones that like where all the bits like so like there's two bits that fold in like that.
Did you put your child in the baby cage and then put a table on top and play games?
No, they were in bed by then. But when it's in bed, you can have the baby cage out and a 6x4 sits on top of it because you have the side bits bend in a bit to really brace the top.
I legit thought Joe was going to tell us he used to put his little one in the baby cage and then put a lid on.
When they were older, I put the roof on top because it's got a little door that you go in and out. It's like a playpen then.
Like a den.
It's like a den. They put some stuff down the side, full pen then.
Yeah. But massive congratulations, mate. Keep us posted.
The day the hobby died, though, for me, because I didn't have a separate room.
Oh, he's not done.
Was when they figured out that they could put their feet on the floor and then push the wall of the baby cage. So then you'd come in and the baby cage was like in another part of the room because they've moved it, and you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. As a parent of 3, I don't have time to paint. You do. Everyone's got time to paint. Yeah. I've got time to paint. I don't, but I've got time to do it.
Children sleep.
Sam, talking about Sam, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Sam. I hope that they release a new suite of Death Watch characters.
Oh, and the other thing, I'm Slap, as well, when you say you seem like a great dad that has it sorted, that's the most important thing. No matter how carnage, chaos, and mental it is, you have to project that you're doing fine. Zodiac, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Zodiac. I hope that that you have a paid 4-day weekend.
Love it.
I do think like I learned to not show emotion when I became a parent.
He says, I really appreciate it. Still digesting all the thoughts, but I'm psyched. You should be. Being a parent is incredible. It is amazing.
It's just, I think a lot of things I hear from parents is that like they do suffer like a loss of identity.
Yeah. Mums get that quite bad.
Mums get like, oh, I want to be more than.
That's the other biggest.
I want to be more than the insert names mum.
That's the biggest piece of advice I'd give you, actually, if we were to go loose women again for just a brief moment and talk about the hobby, is make sure your partner gets time away as well from the little one, because it's easy to do paternity leave. Well, for us anyway, in this country, it was easy for me to do paternity leave for 2 weeks and then go back to work. And when you go back to work, you are going to work, so you're going to do something that isn't just go and have fun and drink a beer, but you also get a little bit of a break from screaming child. Yeah. So it was important for us to make sure that she also got that break.
Also, it's give and take, right? And this is how you get more painting time, you get more hobby time. So if your partner is a stay at home and you're the one that goes to work, you come home from work and you go, I'll take the child or children for X amount of time, and you do that 3 to 5 days a week, and then they go, why don't you have some time to yourself tonight? And you're like, yes, it's paid off. Yeah. Now I get the free time.
Or you say to her, you go out for the evening, darling. I'll look after the little one. Yeah. And then I don't want to see you back before 9 o'clock, right? And then she goes out, and then you just take the baby, put it in the shed. Yeah. And then you can sit there and paint in peace. And then about 10 to 9, you just bring it in out of the shed.
Well, yeah.
Please don't put your baby in the shed. Thank you for the. We did Zodiac, yeah. Boo, thank you for the $10. Joe, Smash Captain in Wrath of Rock with Enhance is strength 11 on the charge, wounding big knights and 4s and putting most on a 6+, but can only gain Deathwing trait and charge in opponent's turn with Vanguard vets, not John Pack infantry.
He just gets lethal hits then.
Lethal.
Because if he's with the Assault Intercessors, he'd get the mortal wounds on the charge. But he gets lethals, which is fine. It's not a problem. You're still AP 3.
AP-3.
But you just miss out on the dev. But it's not a problem because you're dev and lethal.
Are you mistaking your child for a lawnmower? No, the lawnmower makes less noise.
You can treat them like a guinea pig. Just put the baby cage in the garden.
Yeah, mow the grass.
Yeah.
Right. Peaches, thank you for the $5. Let's be real here. Calgar looks fine, but Grimnar wins Model of the Year hands down. Also thinking of a Vanguard list with called Sneaky Murderfang. Do you honestly think... So what came out this year? Did Emperor's Children come out this year? Emperor's Children this year, weren't they? I'm sure they were. Were they last year?
Hang on, I can tell you. Hang on.
Because I'm like, I fucking adore Logan Grimnar, for reference.
I look at my painting list.
He's probably one of my favourites, but model of the year this year, I don't know.
Hang on.
I adore Lucius. Start of the year. First couple months, I think. January, yes.
Yes, because I got Lucius Faller's Blades on here. I have painted 621 models this year. I reckon I could get to 700. 800 is the goal, I think.
Grimnar and the White Scar chap are joint winners for me. White Scar chap is very nice. The new Eldar characters are beautiful. You've got
Sean.
Sean is stunning. Logan is like, it's been what I don't want to happen this year is I don't want it to be like Fulgrim because he's a big one, like has happened in the past.
Well, no, because last year it was the Night Lord kill team.
It was, yeah, but this year I think you could look at Lucius, Sean, the White Scars guy whose name escapes me. You can look at Logan, and I'm like, any one of those could win. There's Lycus has probably got a strong chance. The Phoenix Lord, and I'm like, there's a lot. There's a lot in there. What I really want,
and that's not even including like Age of Sigmar and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Age of Sigmar just won't probably beat 40k for more than based on popularity of the game system.
You still, that's why they split it out. So you've got, I think you've got 40k section, Heresy section, Age of Sigmar section. They'll probably have Old World, and then they'll have Other.
Yeah. Okay. Cray, thank you for the 5,000 Japanese yen. Calgar getting a new sculpt, and I'm just sitting here asking, where the hell is my Pedro Cantor?
They had Centos instead. They just spelled it different.
Yeah, Centos is basically
Centos.
Cantor. Just use him.
Yeah, that was... Centos is a really nice model, but it was a bit of like a spit in the face to the Pedro Cantor crowd, you know. I reckon, right, now there's been talk of this new Yarrick book. We've had the Armageddon narrative stuff, right? Right, there is a rumour, you know. I heard a rumour that Orcs is the starter box set.
Orcs is.
What if 11th edition is Armageddon edition?
You reckon?
It makes sense.
Orcs versus Space Marines as a launch
versus
box.
Space Marines.
I mean, I'd be into it.
The Whispers of Yarrick.
If it's an actual decent narrative arc with some consequence.
Because you'd have to have a pretty big war to go to Armageddon, right? Because the rumor is that Ulanor is Armageddon.
Okay.
The historical home of fighting orcs. That's why orcs always go back there. It's always drawn back. So to have a great narrative arc, and then I think if Games Workshop wants 11th edition to be the biggest edition they've ever had, and we're talking about the time where you've got you got the potential for Space Marine 3 to be released, you've got the Amazon series or film, you've got like New Dawn of War, like just before. If you're pulling in all these people, you don't want new people money, you want old people money as well. You want everyone to be coming back. Armageddon's the place to do it, not on some like place that we've never heard of that has no influence on the game whatsoever. You remember that time when you were happy as a child or a young adult, you know, and you're in Armageddon in the sand, you know, with Steel Legion. Let's do that again. And we'll just be suckling away on Games Workshop's team. Yeah. You know, you'd just be like, body blew me, you know?
Yeah.
Games Workshop, have all my money.
Okay.
I think if they did it that way, just money everywhere.
Well, Makari's Wanksock also super chatted $5 and said, will Yarrick be returning due to the rumour of Orcs and 11th Head starter box? I mean, I can't see a starter box not having Space Marines, so I don't think Yarrick will be in that. I with the way in which he was removed previously from Astra Militarum, I always thought he would return. I just didn't know how long it would take.
11th edition is the return of everyone they took away, but in plastic. So, Yarick, Seth, Cantor, Badruk, you know.
Karandras.
Like, Armageddon's the place to do it.
Fucking... what's his name? Calador Drago.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. Here's another Calgar. We've taken away Drago, though.
But that, like, Armageddon makes sense, because that's where the Grey Knights are fighting at the moment.
We'll take Drago away, but we'll give you another version of Calgar.
Yeah. Calgar now has the most resculpts of any model ever in 40k. There's Toilet Calgar, Power Armor Calgar, Terminator Armor Calgar, Gravis Calgar, and now Terminator Calgar again.
I think you're forgetting Space Marine Lieutenant. He's got loads of resculpts.
Yeah, but there's multiple. He's not. Yeah, but in terms of like actual characters,
No, he's one man.
Abaddon's got
Unique.
2. It's got Old Metal and a new one.
Yeah. But the new one is fucking incredible.
Yeah, no one like Calgar is Games Workshop's baby, like the favourite son.
He's cool. Jacob Wells as well. Thank you for the 1 gifted membership. You're a legend at the end. We did 138 members today.
Thank you.
Because mostly Matt's fucking 100.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ezekiel is still in pewter. He'll come back. You know, it was weird how Ezekiel went. You know,
but look at him, Joe. Look at him. Look at new Terminator Calgar. He's just fucking cooler.
Yeah.
I hope he's got a helmet option.
Yeah, I want Librarian Dreadnought to come back, an actual Death Company Dreadnought.
One that can't hear.
Yeah. Do you know what I want? What I really, really want?
Reach around.
No, the answer to that is a Zig Zigar.
Oh, okay.
Chaplain Dreadnought. Give us a Chaplain Dreadnought.
Give me something exciting.
Character Dreadnought.
Give me something exciting that you want that's not Space Marine based.
A plastic Hierophant. I will also accept a Hierodule. I want Red Terror.
Okay.
I want the Chaos. Who are the Obliterators? The
Mutilators.
The Mutilators.
They're still kind of Space Marines, aren't they? Because they're Chaos Space Marines.
Chaos Bikes.
Chaos Bikes, Joe.
I want expansion on Traitor Guard.
Strong.
I want Gaunt's Ghost basic infantry. I want an entire Catachan range.
Tanith infantry.
Yeah, Tanith first and only infantry squad and heavy weapon team. You don't need a command squad for them because they don't have one. I want
that Adam. That's a right shout. Xmas Day reveal for Yarick.
Yeah,
that's not a bad shout.
Awesome, yeah.
Need warriors to get good. Fair.
Yeah, need warriors need to get good. Like Drakari, I want new witches. I want Vect on his dice of destruction.
Astral Vect.
What else do I want?
Lehman Ross wants you.
Oh, fair.
Clothed?
What else do I like? What other armies do I play? Yeah, there's a lot of guard stuff I want.
All the armies you play, Joe.
Dark Admech, right.
Plastic Racer, yes.
Yes. I'm very much on the fence with Admech. I would rather have the Heresy Admech just come to 40k before we get Dark Mech. And my issue with Dark Mech is it's just demon engines. You know? It's just more of what we've already got. I think Dark Mech is going to be really divisive in the sense it's either going to look great or it's just going to look War of the Worlds and a bit shit.
I'm worried about how it looks because 30k Mechanicum looks beautiful. I have frequently looked at those 2 boxes back there and thought about trying to build some just because I think I'd enjoy it. But 40k Admech is just for the most part.
I dug out the clanky the walkers. What are they called? Oh, Admech.
Which ones, mate?
The robots. The The robots, the robot men.
Castellan?
Yeah, I got in my garage. I dragged them out this morning because I do want to run a 12 Castellan robot list. And they're actually they're an easy win unit to build and paint.
Rules-wise, I quite like Castellan robots. I fucking hate those models. I hate them. Bubbly, weird, robot alien men from Mars. No, they look awful.
The reason I got them out is because the balance date is late, because they got real fucking good. Because you know what they gave to AdMech? Oh, for a moment. Punching robots of for a moment.
Definitely what the game needs is more fucking rerolls.
Yeah, you can forwards. Okay.
Anyway, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for hanging out. You are awesome human beings. Big shout out.
Guess how many damage-free attacks a unit of 4 Castellan robots has?
24.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to telling you. I am 24, strength 12, AP 2, damage 3 attacks.
Anyway, like I said, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Big shout out and congratulations to 8 Arm Slapper for finding out he's going to be a dad at some point in the near future. Hopefully everything goes well. Keep us in the loop, you legend. Thank you so much, Matt, for the 101 gifted memberships. All by yourself. You're a hero.
Yeah, keeping the lights on.
You keeping the lights on, absolutely. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Did Matt get his money back?
Some people did. Some people didn't. I don't know.
From the lost memberships.
We are live again at 7:30 UK time, and for the first time ever in history, I'm playing Tom.
And he's come to diddle.
He doesn't want to be here for a long time.
No.
He might have an early morning tomorrow.
And only he's having a good time.
Yeah, I think he's got an early morning tomorrow. Looking at the list that he's bringing.
Yeah.
So you can look forward to that in a few hours' time. We'll be playing. I'm going to play Emperor's Children for the first time. I really want to play Emperor's Children. I don't know why. In the last 2 weeks, I've suddenly got a mad urge to play Emperor's Children. And they've not really got that much better. Like they changed Fulgrim, doesn't really help for most people's terrain layouts, and they gave Flawless Blades an extra attack.
Flawless Blades go. So I was talking to Big Ash about this the other day, actually. Flawless Blades going up to 4 attacks is interesting because they're still toughness 5 with a 3 up, 5 up, so they're semi-resilient. They're not high in points, but 4 attacks, wounding every unit in the game on freeze at worst.
Yeah,
right.
They still hurt by the fact that the whole unit's 2 damage, and there's a lot of things out there that reduce damage.
I think you have to run them in 6s for them to be efficient. But like a 6-man unit of Flawless Blades now, hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, AP 3, damage 2. There's not much they don't kill now.
We'll see. Hopefully we'll find out tonight. Emperor's Children versus World Eaters. I'm going to become an Emperor's Children fan. Thank you so much, you wonderful humans. Hopefully we'll see you this evening in that live game of 40k. If we don't, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have one of a time.